Hey guys, welcome. This video right here is going to talk about how to use Git. We're going to talk about the basic understanding of Git and how to set up a new project from scratch. So we're going to discuss how to use GitLab and how to set up your project. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing that you need to do is if you're setting up GitLab, you need to go out to the website at gitlab.com, and what we'll do is I'll talk about the basic features that we're going to use when you're in my class. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is set up an account. So let's pretend that my account is not set up. You'll come on here and register, put your email, username, whatever the case is. In this case, I'm using my CCAC account and hit sign in. All right, so let's pretend that you already have an account set up. So the first thing that you do is you're going to create a new project. Click new project. It's going to have your name, and then you call it something. In this case, I will call it, since this is Python, I'll call it Python, well, let's do this, CIT 119. Well, it doesn't matter what it's called, but in this case, I'll say CIT 119. What class is it? It's summer, so I'll say SUMR 2018, and then I'll do we'll say projects, or not assignments, we'll say tasks. You could call it anything. In this case here, visibility level is you put if it's private, internal, or public. If it's public, everyone can see it. If it's private, that just means that only certain people who have access can see it. And internal means that the project can be accessed by any person who's logged in. So in this case, I'm going to keep it private and click create project. All right, first thing that you need to do is you need to create a new file. Click new file. We'll talk about this in greater detail later, but for now just call it readme, and I'll just click commit changes. Later on we'll talk about what that is. All right, so the next important thing for you to do is to give me access to your environment. So I'll click on projects. Let me go back to this, and then what I'll do is I'll come down to, let's see here, settings. Under settings, go to members, and this is where you want to give someone. So for example, when you give me access, the best thing to do is, because I have 3 accounts in here, and there's a lot of chances that people enter the wrong account. So if you enter Jeff Seaman, well, there's a lot of Jeff Seamans. If you enter Jeffrey J. Seaman, Salmon. So there's different ones. I have a West Liberty account. You could enter Jeffrey J. Seaman, but to be safe, and sorry, because people always sign it to the wrong account, do jseaman at ccac.edu. This guy here, and then give me master access, because what that'll allow me to do is if you send me source code, I could edit it and give you some explanation of how to do this or that, best practice. An expiration date, since this class will be over July 30, it'll be over the 27th. Well, for the heck of it, you could put July 31st and just add to project, okay? Or you could just leave it blank. So that is how you assign access. So remember that. First week, you have to assign access in my class. So now we have this access set up. I'm not giving myself access, I already have access. This right here is the URL that we use to clone our project. What we're going to do, when we set up a source code repository, we're going to have it communicate with this right here. Think of this as our vault where we store information at. So when we push code, we'll push it here. There's HTTPS and SSH. We're not going to talk about SSH. I have a video on it, but it's more around Bitbucket. But in this class, we're just going to use HTTPS. The SSH can be difficult, and we're not going to get too into it. And I'm not going to really get into the Git and branches and all that stuff. You could just watch my other videos. So this video is just to teach you how to get it set up with GitLab. The next thing is, most of you have, if you're using a Mac, we're going to use Terminal, which is what I'm going to use. If you're using Windows, you're going to be using something called Git Bash. So in this case, I'm going to type in Terminal. All right, so what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a directory. So I need to do a pwd, and it'll tell me where I'm at. So let's see, if I do cd git, I have a folder called git. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new directory and call it, I'm going to do mkdir. You'll learn these terms in the terminals 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. So I'll do make new directory and I'll call it CIT 119 SMR 2018. Alright, cool. So now what I need to do is a CD, so it changes the directory and takes me there. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to do a clear the screen. I should do an ls. PWD shows that I'm there. Perfect. Alright, so first thing that we need to do, number one, is we need to clone our project. So how do we do that? We go in here and copy this URL. That's the first step. And then the second step is I need to do a Git Clone and then a Control V, or you could come here and do edit paste and hit enter. What it will do is it clones this right here. It replicates this. I want to move this off from another class. Alright, move that off. That's a different class I'm teaching. Alright, so this one right here is cloned. So if I cd and I should have a new directory. Actually, if I do ls, I'm sorry, I have a new directory. It's called that right there, task. That right there matches this right here, so that's good. So let's go into it and do CIT 119 SMR 2018 tasks. Alright, and do ls, it should be clear. Just a read file. Perfect. Alright, so what we're going to do is, we're going to talk about things that you could do over here. That, alright, so let's do this. Let's, 1 second here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a file and we're going to move it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up probably Atom for this. So and instead of using PyCharm, I'm just going to open up an editor and code something quick, just so that we get some file in here. Let's see. Right, so normally I wouldn't use this for coding PyCharm, but this is just we're just going to create a file so we have something in there. So what I'm doing is importing a library for Python. I'm defining a new function called new screen. This will be something that we'll learn later on in this class. Creating a window, I'm calling it top level, giving it to root. Let's see, now I'm gonna come down here and do root equals tk dot tk, name it a function. Alright, and then we're gonna give it a title, movies. I'm just making this up as I go. I'm gonna give it the size of the screen times 200, and let's see here, we call it z equals tk dot button. We give it a button. Root dot text equals photos. So what we're doing is we're creating a button that says photos. When you click on it, we'll create a new screen because we're going to give it a command. Command is going to be new screen. There we go. And then we're going to do a pack. We're going to package the file, and then we're going to do the main loop, which loops it. I'm not talking about what this is about right now because the reason being is this is something that we're going to learn later on. So I'll call this new window.py, and I need to put it somewhere. That's a different site. Let's see here. Where can I put it at for now? I'll put it out on my desktop. I need to go grab it. Alright, so what I need to do is create that library that I had, which was called Git. So let's go to Git and let me grab that file. Copy, and it was Git, I think. Actually, it was CIT 119 or 2018. Alright, pasting it in there. Alright, so I pasted it in there. Let me show you what the screen looks like real quick. So this is what the Python, what we just programmed right here. If I click on photos, it creates a new screen. That's it. That's all it does. So what I did is I moved that file, copy and paste it within Mac. So if I go into LS, it should be there. There it is. So I can do a view on it. New window.py. Pulls it up. If I do an I for insert, you'll learn this in the class. I could come in here and change stuff around. But I'm going to do a control colon and do quit. All right, so that quits it. All right, so now, all right, so here, let me clear this. Here's the commands that we're going to use. We added a file and we want to push it up to this guy right here. So what we need to do first is we need to do something called a get status. What it does is your file should be red. Red means that it's unstaged and it's not staged yet. So what do? You have two options that you could do. You could do a get add and type in the name of the file, .py, or you could do get add and do dot, and that's what we're going to do. What that means is when you do the dot, anything that's red will be added to stage. If you want to do something specific, then you'll do each thing one by one by typing the name in. In this case, I do this. Next thing you're going to do is a get status. File is green, so remember that. First thing you do is a get status, and then you do a get add. You add the file to staging. So now what we need to do is something called a get log. Log has a log of what you did. So it shows the head, and the branch that we're using in this case is master, and it has the origin head. So it has my name, and it has the date and so forth. Now there's something that we'll have to do to configure your name and stuff like that. Once you guys start using it, I'll show you how to do that. In the meantime, so the next thing that we need to do is we know that it's ready to be staged. The next thing that we have to do is something called a commit. So we'll type in get commit -m, and then we give it a message, and we'll say edit new Python file. Okay, and hit enter. All right, so you see right here it says on the master branch. It gives it a get ID. It says add new Python. So one file changed, and there's 12 insertions, which means there's 12 lines of code that's being added. And it says create new mode. So now what I could do here is I could do something called get. I already did get log again, but I'm gonna do get log again and see the command. So we see the log. Perfect. It says add a new file. All right. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to do a push. So we'll just check get status one more time. All right. So we're good. See right here it says get status. It says your branch is ahead of the origin master by one commit. Use get push to publish your local commits. So what does that mean? The origin master. So let me show you something. Let me clear the screen. If I do type in get branch, what that does is it shows me all my local branches. The only local branch I have is master. Now if I do get branch -a, it shows me these guys are my remote branches. This right here is remote. Anything in green in this case is local. So it shows that, hey, you have this remote branch called origin master. What that means is, you know how like it said, if I went into get log again, it says, oh, I didn't bring it up. Let's see if it brings it up again. Status. All right, so that was get status. So get status, it shows that, means that my local is ahead of origin. So what I need to do is push my change locally up to the remote branch so that I could catch up. So what I need to do is type in get push origin, if I spell it right, /master. And that is it. And hit enter. All right, what did I do wrong? Get push origin. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think I have to do it this way. That's right. Origin space master. Duh. I did this so many times I forgot. So you don't want to do origin /. You want to do origin master. You see right here it says compressing objects, writing objects. It pushed it to this website address right here. So what I could do is I could come over here and I could do a refresher. And you'll see right here, look at this, added new file, the new Python code. Look at this, it's been added. So now let me show you a trick. Let's say that you're coding in a project and you made a change to your code. So let's say that, you know, Jim Bob took the code and made a change to it, and he changed it from photos to new window. He's like, I don't like that. So you can come up here and update this and say, update it line 9, and then hit commit. Okay, so now if I do a refresh, you're going to see right here that now it says new window instead of masters. If I go into commits, it's going to show that Jeff Seaman updated line 9. So if I click on updated line 9, you're going to have this right here where it has the plus green. That means if you see something in green and it's added, that means it's been added. If you see something in pink and it's negative, means it's been removed. But we keep a history of that, okay? So think about if I go into my source code, where is it at down here? Oh, right here. So if I do an ls here, and I do a view new window .py, oh wait, what's the matter here? It looks like there's a problem, right? Why does my code not match that? This is a lesson that you always want to learn. Always get the latest and greatest. So let's say that you work in a business and you log on 8 o'clock in the morning. You go out and make sure you have the latest and greatest. That way you don't mess up. And then at the end of the day, you check your code in and you just do that every day, and everything will always work. All right, so how do we do that? So first thing that we want to do is we need to do a pull. So we do a git pull origin master. Instead of push, we're doing a pull. All right, perfect. So it shows right here, it fetched from the head, it pulled the master. If we created any new branches up here, it would pull in the new branch as well. So it said that, oh, there was a new insertion. So if I do an ls, and now what I could do is, I could do an lsl, whoops, it'll show the new window, and then if I could do view new window .py, look at that, new windows there. So now it's changed. The only difference is I don't have the same history as this. I have the history here. This is my local branch. I'm not worried about local branch. I'm just concerned about this right here. So let me give you a little tutorial on the commands that you'll commonly use when using Git. So I'm gonna do let me pull up Sublime, and I don't care about a new one. Let's do new. All right. So what are you going to use using Git? All right. First, you're going to use. First thing that you're going to do is when you log on, you're going to do a Git Clone URL. Okay. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to cd into your directory, your Git directory, / project name. Perfect. Then after you cd into that, you're going to do, the first thing you're going to do is you need to check some code in. So you're going to do a git status and check for color. Red equals not staged, green equals staged. So remember that, okay? Fourth thing that you need to do is you need to add a file. So another command that you're going to use is git add dot. This adds any new files. 4b, git add specific name. So let's say that it was new window.py. This adds individual files. So that way, if you have individual files, will be added. All right. Next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, after you do a git add, you're going to want to do a git log. This verifies that you have a commit ID. All right. Let's see here. All right. So the next thing after you did log, you want to do a git push origin master. this will push local code to remote branch. Then you'll want to do a, you know what, I messed up. I left this step out. You'll do a git commit -m message of what you added. Okay. Then after you did that, you want to do the git log, verify that the message was committed. Then you want to do a git push origin master. All right, so that's what you want to do. All right. Now there's so many things that you can learn in Git, but I'm not going to go through all that. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is when you want to get new files, upload it from team members. What do? Git pull origin master. Now remember, if you are using multiple branches, like for example at work, we'll use a branch called, we'll have the master branch, we'll have a release branch, we'll have a hotfix branch, we'll have a development branch, we'll have a feature branch, and all these different branches do something. Master is just, you know, as the master, it holds a lot of stuff, and it releases where our production releases go, or UAT or QA releases, something like that. Hotfix is where bad things happen that you bring from the release down. Development is where the developers work at. Features or features that you're working on, they're in its own silo, and so forth. It could be anything you want to. So let's say that in that case we were using those branches. Then the only different thing that we'd have to do is we couldn't do a push origin, say development, for example. Like we couldn't do git push origin development because you can't take one branch to another branch. So remember that you can't take the master branch to the development branch. So what you normally have to do is you have to do a git checkout B and then your branch name, and then what it does is it checks out your branch. So say your let's say your development branch creates a local development branch. You put your changes there, and then you check everything in, and you move it up. Don't worry about it because we're not going to work with that. So we're going to use the master branch in this class. That's it. Git pull origin master. Boom, you're on your way. So this right here is a quick tutorial on the things that we're going to use in GitLab. If you have any questions on this at all, please let me know. Shoot me an email. But this is just a introduction to how to get started. If you follow these steps, you'll never mess up. You'll always just be able to push your code in perfectly fine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.